Hello and welcome to the next edition of the HP Discover podcast series. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host and moderator for this ongoing discussion on IT innovation and how it's making an impact on people's lives. Our next big data innovation case study highlights how Yellow Pages has experimented with and built out a full enterprise data warehouse with powerful reporting capabilities. We'll learn how YP pulls massive data and information from across new and legacy resources to report precise metrics to its advertisers, and they can learn more then about their campaigns and how small businesses are faring. To learn more, let's welcome our guest. We're here with Bill Tysinger. He's the Vice President of Engineering for Platform Data Services at YP in Glendale, California. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you, Dana.
Good to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about YP. You're a digital arm of what people would have known as the Yellow Pages a number of years ago. And you're all about helping small businesses become better acquainted with their customers and vice versa.
Correct. YP is a leading local marketing solutions provider in the U.S., dedicated to helping local businesses and communities grow. We help connect local businesses with consumers wherever they are on whatever device they're on, web and mobile.
And as we know, the world has changed dramatically around marketing and advertising and connecting buyers and sellers. So in the digital age, being precise, being aware, being visible is everything. So that means data. Tell us a little bit about your data requirements in this new world.
Sure. We need to be able to capture how consumers interact with our customers, and that includes where they interact, whether it's a mobile device, a web device, and also within our network of partners. So we reach about 100 million consumers across the U.S., and we do that through our YP network and through our partner network. All right.
Tell us, too, about the evolution. Obviously, you don't build out data capabilities and infrastructure overnight. Obviously, some things are in place, and then you move on and you learn and you adapt and you have new requirements. So tell us a little bit about the story, how it unfolded around your data warehouse journey.
Sure. Well, Yellow Pages saw the shift of their print business moving heavily online and becoming heavily digital. And they needed to evolve with that, of course. And so in doing so, they needed to build the infrastructure around the systems that they were using to support the businesses they were helping to grow. And in doing that, what we did is we started to take a look at what those systems, what the system requirements were for us, and being able to kind of report and message value to our advertisers. And that included understanding where consumers were looking, what we were impressing to them, what businesses we were showing them when they searched, and what they were clicking on, and ultimately who they called as businesses. And we do track all of those different metrics. When we started this adventure, we did not have the technology and the capabilities to be able to do all those things. So we had to kind of reinvent our infrastructure, so if you will. So that's what we did.
And as we know, getting more information to your advertisers to help them in their selection and spending expertise is key. It differentiates companies. So this is a core proposition for you all. This is at the heart of your business, not a nice to have or something behind the curtains. Given the mission criticality, what are the requirements? What did you need to do to get that reporting, to get that warehouse capability? And then tell us a little bit about your selection process.
Sure. Well, we need to be able to scale to the size of our network and the size of our partner network, which means no click left behind, if you will, no impression untold, no search unrecognized. And so that's billions of events we process every day, and we need to look at something that will help us scale. If we added a new partner, if we expanded the YP network, if we added hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of new advertisers, we needed the infrastructure to be able to help us do that.
Okay, I understand you've been using Hadoop, and you might be looking at other technologies as they emerge. But tell us a little bit about your Hadoop experience and then how that perhaps relates to your reporting capabilities.
Sure. So Hadoop was at the time when I joined YP, was a heavy buzz product in the industry. It was a proven product for helping businesses to be able to process large amounts of unstructured data, right? And however, it still poses a problem. That unstructured data needs to be structured at some point, And it's that structure that you report to advertisers and that you report internally. And that's kind of how we decided that we needed to marry two different technologies together, one that will allow us to scale a large unstructured processing environment like Hadoop, and one that will allow us to scale a large structured environment like Vertica.
Interesting. How has this impacted your business now that you've been able to do this and it's been in the works for quite a while? Any metrics of success or anecdotes that you can relate back as to how the people in your organization are consuming those metrics, and then also extending that as service and product back into your market, and what's been the result?
Sure. We have roughly about 10,000 processing jobs that we run every day, both that process data and also for analytics inquiries. That data represents about 5 petabytes, 6 petabytes of data that we've been able to capture about consumers and their behaviors and activities. And so what we do is we process that environment, and we process that data within our Hadoop environment. We then pass that along into Vertica, structure it in a way where we can have analysts and other systems retrieve, pull, and look at those metrics and be able to report on them to the advertisers.
Is there an automation to this evolving as you look to present more and better analytics, say on top of the Vertica? What are you doing to make that one customizable to people based on their needs, but at the same time controlled and managed so that it doesn't become unwieldy?
Yeah, there's a lot of interaction between customers, both internal and external, when we decide how and what we're going to present in terms of data. And there's a lot of ways we do that. We present data externally through an advertiser portal. So we want to make sure we work very closely with HFE and UX designers as well as our advertisers through focus groups and workshops and understanding what they want to understand about the data that we're presenting them. And we then internally decide what would make sense and what we feel comfortable being able to present to them, because we have a universe of a lot more data than what we actually probably want to show people, right? And we also do the same thing internally. We've been able to provide various teams internally, whether it's sales, marketing, finance, insights into who's clicking on various business listings, who's viewing various businesses, who's calling businesses, what their segmentation is, what their demographics look like, and allows us a lot of analytical insight. We do most of that work through the analytics platform, which is in this case Vertica.
Now, that user experience is becoming more and more important. It wasn't that long ago where these reports were going to people who were data scientists or equivalent, but now we're taking them out to those 600,000 small businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about lessons learned when it comes to delivering an end analytics product versus building out the warehouse? They seem to be, of course, interdependent, but we're seeing more and more emphasis on that user experience these days.
Yeah, you need to bridge the gap between analytics and just data storage and processing. So you got to present them an end state. This is what happened. It's very descriptive of what's going on, and we try to be a little bit more predictive when it comes to the way we want to do analysis at YP. So we're looking to go beyond just descriptive things, right? Also, what has changed is the platform by which you present the data. It's going highly mobile. So small businesses need to be able to just pick up their mobile device and look at what they've been able to, the effectiveness of their campaigns, if you will, with YP. And they're able to do that through a mobile platform we've built called YP for Merchants. And so they can log in and they can see their metrics that are core to their business and how those campaigns are performing. And even some details like if they missed a phone call and they want to be able to reach back out to a consumer and see if they need to, help kind of solve a problem or provide a service.
And given that your developers had to go through the steps of creating that great user experience and taking it to the mobile tier, was there anything about Vertica, your warehouse, your approach to analytics that made that development process easier? Is there an approach to delivering this from a developer perspective that you think others might learn from?
Well, yeah, there is. It takes a lot more people than just the analytics team in my group or the engineers in my team. It's a lot of other teams within YP that build this. But first and foremost, people want to see the data as real time or as nearline as they can. So, when a small business relies on contact from customers, right? So, and we track those calls. when a potential customer calls a small business and that small business isn't able to, actually get to the call or reach, be able to respond to that customer because, maybe they're on a job, right? It's important to know that call happened recently, and it's important for that small business to reach back out to the consumer because that consumer could go somewhere else and get that service from another potential competitor. So to be able to do that as quickly as possible is a hard, fast requirement. So processing the data as quickly as you can and presenting it, whether it be on a mobile device in this case, as quickly as you can is definitely paramount to making that a success.
I've spoken to a number of people over the years, and one of the takeaways I get is that infrastructure is destiny. It really seems to be the case in your business. Having that core infrastructure decision process done correctly is now giving you the opportunity to scale out, be innovative, react to the market. And I think it's also telling that in this data-driven decade that we've been in for a few years now, the whole small business sector of the economy is a huge part of our overall productivity and growth as an economy. Any thoughts generally about making infrastructure decisions for the long run, decisions that you won't regret, decisions that can scale over time and are in a sense future-proof?
Yeah, speaking on just behalf of what I've seen through the job that we've had here at YP, we reach, YP has a little over 500,000 paying advertisers, and I think that the shift is happening between just telling advertisers what's happened to helping them actually drive new business, right? So it's around, I know who my customers are now. How do I find more of them, right? How do I reach out to them? How do I market to them? And I think that's where the real shift is. You have to have a really strong, scalable, and extensible, all the bulls, if you will, to be able to answer that question. And so having the right infrastructure puts you in a position to be able to do that. And that's kind of where businesses are going to end up growing, whether it's ours or small businesses. And that's our success is hinged to whether or not we can get these small businesses to grow. So we're definitely 100% invested in trying to make that happen.
It's also quite telling that you've been able to adjust so rapidly. You're obviously a business that's been around for a long time. People are very familiar with the yellow pages, the actual physical product, but you've gone to make software so core to your value and your differentiation. I'm impressed, and I commend you on being able to make that transitions fairly rapidly. Yeah,
well, thank you. That's we've invested a lot in the people within the technology team we have there in Glendale. We have built our own internal search capabilities, our own internal products. We've pulled a lot of good core talent from other companies, like where I used to work at Yahoo with other folks. And YP is definitely focused on trying to make this transition a successful one. But we have our eye on our heritage. And over 100 years of being very successful in the print business is not something you want to turn your back on. You want to be able to embrace that. And we've learned a lot from it too. So we're right there with small businesses. We have a very large sales force, which is also very powerful and helpful to us making this transition a success. So we've leaned on all of that. And we've become one big kind of happy family, if you will. We all work very closely together to make this transition successful.
Well, great. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. We've been learning about how Yellow Pages, or YP, has experimented with and built out a full enterprise data warehouse capability, built with also powerful near real-time reporting capabilities. And we've heard why pulling massive data and information from across new and legacy sources is essential to being able to report precise metrics to YP's advertisers, and how that's differentiating the company in the new world of online marketing and advertising. So join me in extending a big thank you to our guest, Bill Tysinger, the Vice President of Engineering for Platform Data Services at YP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate the time.
And a big thank you also to our audience for joining us for this Big Data and Information Governance Innovation Case Study discussion. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host for this ongoing series of HP-sponsored discussions. Thanks again for listening, and do come back next time.